All right, and welcome everyone to week 3 of Aegis Guardians League. I'm Jason 5, and alongside me is Ivar, as usual. How are we feeling, man?
Doing good. Excited for this matchup. We got Stun Gaming Noxus taking on Stubby Gun here in week 3 of Aegis Guardian League, like you mentioned. Both these teams are 0-2 coming in here into week 3. So both of them trying to secure their first win. So excited to see how this match pans out. Any predictions or any insight on how you think this will go?
Um, Stun Gaming 2-0, obviously. You know,
Stun Gaming
the
2-0, obviously.
Stun
No
Gaming,
bias.
no bias,
No
but I
bias.
think, as we saw in, the little general chat poll that Mike did put out, our wonderful Discord moderator put out earlier, the results do seem quite even in terms of favor and, who has predictions and stuff. So I think this will actually be a pretty close game. We
Yeah.
did see Stubby Gun go for basically entire roster overhaul, so it'll be really interesting to see how much practice time they've got together and how well that this kind of new look Stubby Gun gets to gel.
Yeah, they've had some players move around positions, some new people come in. So, like you said, we're going to see how they've been able to acclimate as this new five. But we're straight into draft here. We see the Xin Zhao Alistar taken away alongside the Irelia Diana.
Yeah, I think the Xin Zhao is a really good ban. Obviously still one of the strongest junglers in this current meta right now, and also Irelia also a great ban as well. Irelia basically the answer this patch, like her W changes and passive change, make her a really powerful pick. See Thresh and Tristana being taken off from stun and stubby gun as well.
Yeah, pretty standard stuff, like you mentioned. Meta picks, some target bans. As the league goes on, we'll be seeing more and more target bans coming out because due to the stats and information that teams have. But for this first pick here, we see Jinx being picked up by Stun Gaming Noxus.
Yeah, really, it's kind of a really interesting pick here. It's kind of like a pick that acts as a ban as well, because we do see that Trioxide does have a couple games on the Jinx, and so it's kind of a way of saying that they don't want him to play that pick. And so Stubby gonna respond with the Ziggs themselves in the bot lane, and the Ziggs Nautilus as well. Really strong bot lane pairing. Ziggs are a really good pick in the meta right now.
Yeah, Ziggs, like you mentioned, super solid. A lot of potential for taking those early towers and can help teams turtle if they're behind and has that burst potential with his ultimate. So a good overall pick and being paired with potentially the Nautilus here in the bot lane. We're not sure where the Ziggs is going just yet, but if it is paired with the Nautilus, the CC that Nautilus provides will be very beneficial for Ziggs to be able to land a lot of his damage. So definitely a power pick. I do like the Karma as a response to that. The Mantra E and the shields able to mitigate some of the burst that can come out from Ziggs in some of these team fights.
Yeah, absolutely. Now the next worry in terms of stun is probably whether or not they're gonna be able to find a reliable engage. They probably need to they definitely need to find a pick like that in jungle. So I'm expecting maybe to pick up a jungler here in this case for our good friend Mike in the jungle.
Yeah,
But yeah, stun gaming good pairing with Karma, definitely a very scaling option and one that really allows to keep teams safe and also speed everyone up so that everyone gets to run forward.
yeah, and
See
that
Volibear
engage,
as
like you
well.
mentioned, yeah, engage like you mentioned, the Volibear being picked up for Mike or Ominous here in the jungle for Stun Gaming. I don't know. I feel like you could have gone for maybe Nocturne as well, or maybe Hecarim, but I think they do the same thing as the Volibear. So, good presence of mind. And then response from Stubby Gun is this J4, kind of acting as a lock in place champion for the Ziggs to do the damage. So far, I do like both comps. Both comps are rounding out pretty well here. And we're moving into the second draft phase for bans here. We see the Gnar being taken away.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I really like the Jarvan pick here. I think it's excellent. Definitely, really sets up Ziggs to be able to be in like a free fire damage. Whereas the Tom Kench is being banned. Really good ban from Stubby Gun here. Tom Kench is such a strong champion right now, especially with that mini rework and just how oppressive he is in lane as well as how impactful he is in team fights. But yeah, definitely like how the picks are scaling up. I'm interested to see which lane Stubby Gun leaves counter pick for because being on red side, obviously there's that natural advantage. So it's up to Stun to see lane they're willing to get which lane they want to get counterpicked.
Yeah. We see the Mordekaiser Kale also taken away. like you mentioned, Shen being picked up. So far, everything seems pretty standard. Set is being picked as a response. I'm assuming that's going to be set top, even though there's still some flexibility here. We can have set mid, karma support, karma top, set support. There's a lot of stuff that can be going on here. So we'll have to see how their composition rounds out with this B5 pick.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like the set pick here because, obviously we Corki hovered as well. Also great, also decent pick as well. I like these picks from Sun Gaming. I think they offer a lot of utility and damage, and they offer an alternative option for damage sources if the Jinx, gets evaporated instantly. And so set, really good pick here, able to pick up the Nautilus, Jarvan, Shen, and kind of slam them back into the team, which is really nice. And then Corki makes it, I think Corki is a good pick because it makes it hard for him to itemize. We see Ashe being locked in as well, so it confirms that Ziggs is going to be going mid here.
Yeah, so this is going to be Ziggs mid, Ashe bot lane. Ashe probably going to provide the utility the team needs with the slows, the enchanted crystal arrow. We saw an insane one last week with that double kill in the other stream game, but
Oh
it's
yeah.
a good pick. I think the problem I'm seeing here with Stubby Gun's comp is that if Ziggs or Ashe, or if they both die, their comp kind of falls apart. And the side of Stun Gaming Noxus has the tools to get to them, right? There's the set ult, there is the package if Corki has it, the Volibear ult. They can jump the backline pretty easily. There's not too much that's going to stop them from getting there. But Stubby Gun does have, the response to protect their carries. They have the Stand United from Shen. They do have the ultimates and the CC available from Nautilus. Um, so both compositions have their niches and how they want to navigate these team fights, but I'm not sure who's going to be able to execute it better. Usually, the team that has the proactive agency. I said this last week too. Usually, the team that has the agency to start these fights tends to do better. But in this specific case, both teams can start fights whenever they want. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they navigate these team fights.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, with your point about Stubby Gun's comp, not just if the Ziggs or Ashe are dead, I think if the Ziggs or Ashe are behind early game, they're gonna be tickling. They're gonna be tickling champs like the Set and Volibear. But one thing is definitely, I think it's much easier for the side of Stubby Gun to engage, because with Volibear, obviously you have an angry bear running at you. Oh, Jarvan, you have a angry prince running at you, and so I think the difference in terms of engage is a bit more difficult for Stun Gaming Noxus, but I do believe that, the drafts do look quite even here, and it's going to be very much down to execution.
Yeah, both mid laners scale immensely well. Both top laners help dives, peel back. Both junglers are engaging, so it's pretty well rounded for both sides, and we're probably poised for some explosive fights. I think that J4 has a little bit of better setup early for some ganks. So I would like to see this J4 get some stuff going early. Um, but at the same time, uh, Mike, keep calling him Mike, but it's ominous on this Volibear has the agency as well. It's just his lanes don't have as much setup as Stubby Gun does.
Yeah, I think definitely one. I think one kind of pathing decision we'll see is that the Volibear will probably be pathing from bot to top and help the Set out. Set is one of the champions that, if he manages to get that E off, there could be some potential there. I think definitely one thing is that a lot of it's going to be in the agency in the mid lane as well. See how the mid lane matchup is, because whoever can get that first roam off and be able to move on the map first is going to be able to help their jungle a lot more. Because with junglers being so important, yeah, junglers are really important in these lane mechanics because Jinx is definitely a lane that wants to scale, Corki's a lane that wants to scale, and so be difficult to see how it'll be good to see how the junglers go.
The junglers will definitely be key here. But I think we are good to cut it to a quick break here while we wait out the spectator delay. So just bear with us, guys, while we wait this out, and we'll be back for game one of this best of three series.
All right, and welcome back to week 3 of Aegis Guardians League. This is once again Stun Gaming Noxus against Stubby Gun. And
Yep.
alongside me, Ivar, I'm Jason Crew 5, and we're loaded onto Summoner's Rift.
It looks like we got a 5 stack coming out from Stubby Gum. Maybe some cheese strats coming out here. They're going to be walking into this bot plush to see if they can loop around and maybe catch out the Jinx. But nice ward coming out from Lampshades here to spot this out. And instantly the pings come out from Stun Gaming here.
Yeah, Lampshade's really good awareness there. Definitely came with some preparation. Lampshade's here also is able to get under tower safely here, making sure that he's not going to really be able to have to be at risk of getting dived. And it looks like Stubby Gun have no clue what is going on. Shen, Stubby himself is recalling right now, making sure that he does get away safely. And yeah, it looks like the rest of Stubby Gun here are just going to back off, and it's going to be a pretty standard start. We see from Omnis does get a ward into Gordon's red, so it does look like there's going to be some good counter jungling information available on the map here.
Yeah, the ward gets placed there, so he's going to be able to kind of know the pathing of Gordon here. Ominous will be able to know, but at the same time, this ward was dropped, and it's actually being swept out here, so they're going to be able to pick up some XP at the side of Stun Gaming, and also know that Stubby Gun. They know where the jungle is starting, but both these junglers will be clearing towards top side, so nothing too explosive going to happen in the bot lane. Maybe I could be wrong here. We could see some cheese level 2, level 3 ganks coming out early.
Yeah, absolutely. Lawrence going in for level 1 E, set really strong early game presence, but so is Shen as well. So I'm definitely really excited to see how the trading in that matchup works. As we see Orange already cut down to half health by Stone Made Soft. Ziggs definitely landing off a lot of his poke here and really being a deadly force. Oh, Lawrence gets a good trade.
Yeah. Level 2 is coming out from the bot lane. Hook does not land, lands onto a minion. Fire Streaks needs to walk that out. But just pretty standard trading stuff, and both junglers have made their way to their topside jungles here.
Yeah, and it does look like Gordon might be aware of the, or doesn't know. Gordon might. The board has expired in Gordon's red buff here by the looks of the map here, so definitely a bit of mystery in terms for Omnis in terms of where the Jarvan is to be pathing. But it does look like top lane is pushing in, so the Crab could be favored towards Stun Gaming, but the Ziggs does have a heavy amount of prio over Corki as well.
Yeah. The prio is there for Ziggs, like you mentioned, so maybe some scuttle fights that. Oh, Hook lands.
Pocket's caught out by a hook here, but does manage to get peeled away. Good amount of health chunk down. The shield from Nautilus keeping him relatively safe. Definitely a misstep there.
Yeah. So far, it's been pretty quiet on the map, but it looks like pings are coming down on this top scuttle. Top lane's just trading as they do.
Yeah, Lawrence not rotating in time here. Looks like Omnis might be in trouble here. Does get the Scuttle Crab here, smited away from the Volley Bear. Corki's here as well, trying to get some auto damage, but Stone Made Soft and Gordon, it does look like they'll be able to dissuade them from pursuing any kills further. Omnis might be pathing towards that bot Scuttle as well.
Yeah. The bot scuttle will be the next point of contention, but we see the bot lane of Stubby Gun rotating first here, having that prio, so this will probably be given over to Stubby Gun, and junglers will go 1-for-1 on these scuttles.
Yeah, it looks like a relatively calm early game so far. No one's really getting first blood or kills and that type of thing, but Lawrence does get an ease pullback onto Stubby. Does get that W off with good amount of damage. Could set up for lethal as well. Lawrence could be hitting, is going to hit level 16 based on how hard he's pushing this wave.
Yeah. And nothing too crazy in the CS department separating teams, but looks like a gank is brewing here in the bot lane.
Flash coming in from the Nautilus, but traded Flash from Lampshade as well. Good respect off, the potency of the Nautilus here. And also good ward to catch out the Jarvan coming down as well. Oh, Stubby does get stunned up. Does tank one more tower shot from Lawrence, get hits onto the set, but Shen able to use the E and dodge away from that W true damage. But still, Shen looking like in a very dangerous position here. Huge wave stacked up, and Lawrence might go for a one-man dive possibly.
Yeah, big wave stacked up like you mentioned. He should be able to go for this, has the flash available. Hook lands the bot lane.
Gets booked again. Traps go down, zoning dash away, but looks like he's using a basic trade here. Lawrence under tower here with the Shen. Does get the autos up, but misses the E. Bit of a crucial mistake here, but Shen does get the level up, and looks like Stubby is going to be safe for now.
Stubby is going to be safe here. It's kind of risky to dive Shen, especially when he has flash up, because he can, do some taunt flash shenanigans, get you aggro under the tower pretty easily. and you know, block your auto attacks with his with his uh, with his stasis field. So good
Yeah, and
presence of
looks like
mind.
Stubby going to cancel the recall of Lawrence here, but getting heavily traded onto E pullback W, a sliver of health. Stubby really playing with fire here, especially in this level 5 mark. But Jarvan is top as well, and so is Volibear. Can Lawrence survive long enough for Volibear to get it here? Orky TP as well. Volibear flash stun, gets the EQ off from Gordon. Stormslayer coming down as well. Q hits onto Gordon, but looks like it's just gonna be a basic trade here. Only summoners wasted out from the side of Volibear and Porky, so positive for Stubby Gun, but definitely dangerous for the side of Stun Gaming here.
Yeah, like you mentioned, Ominous blowing that flash, TP coming out from the Quirky, and Ziggs is getting to free farm in the mid lane. So net positive for Stubby Gun, and now Shen has Adam advantage. Oh, Stone shot.
But the Ziggs looks like he might be in trouble here, but Omnis does have no flash. Lawrence trading up in the top side as well, does get the W flash forced out from Stubby. Lawrence also in trouble here, gets taunted up by the Shen. It looks like it's going to be first blood going over to the Shen. Stonemate's off in the mid lane training, but Lawrence is running away. Did hit level 6, so did get that ultimate off, but huge health advantage for the side of Stubby. Lawrence trying to get run away for more. How many more seconds on that Shental? Looks like he's going to get away for now. Mike Ominous is here to be able to protect the set, and no first blood yet, Ivar, but Jarvan is here as well. Does have that EQ available. Gonna look to go on to the set. Misstep from Lawrence, recalling in the Tribush there. First blood goes towards the Jarvan.
Yeah. Jarvan picking up that kill. So first blood going over to Stubby Gun. A lot of close calls so far on the map, but surprised to see that being the first first kill actually.
Yeah, I think it was just, poor positioning and just not the best map awareness there, You don't need to take the greedy recalls. That W going forward from Origin, looking for the kill, but W from Ziggs as well, forced to kind of make him back off there. So far, Corki starting to do well in these trades of his own, and being able to make the Corki feel really uncomfortable as well. Now he has no TP and is forced to recall.
Yeah. Corki is forced to recall, like you mentioned. No, not Corki, sorry. Ziggs here. I don't see any big CS leads brewing. We just have that 800 gold lead for Stubby Gun here off that first blood. But everything seems pretty standard on the map, right? I don't see anything sticking out thus far. Do you see anything?
Absolutely. Dragon's still been up for a while. Rift Herald's about to come up. Gordon does look like he's only down a few CS as well, so not much here. I think the only lead is really just onto the jungler for the side of Stubby Gun, and that's relatively interesting because typically we don't really see such a calm game.
Yeah, it's been pretty. I wouldn't say calm. There's a lot of fighting going on, but not a lot of kills being picked up. A lot of close calls. We see a fight in the top lane here.
Yeah, just some basic trading here. Lawrence does use the W very quickly for a normal set player. Just from personal experience, getting that grit stored up does guarantee a lot of that health trade to be caught back here, especially because set is starting to stack with health. But another trade going on here. W going down this time a bit better. A Unstoppable package going down onto the Zig. W twice again. The AP ratio is really messing the Zigs up, but Shenol does get cancelled by Lawrence, but he's under tower in a very dangerous position here. W, will it be up in time? Yes, gets the E auto. No, Stubby gets the Silica onto Lawrence for trying to save his mid laner here. Definitely a mistake to be able to ult this Shen into tower and tank 2 tower shots himself. Lawrence starts off 0-2.
Yeah. Lawrence does pick up that kill, like you mentioned. That death, like you mentioned. I think Stubby Gun should be collapsing for this dragon now, and just as I say that, that dragon is going to be started up here. And I think the big thing here is that although Stubby's ultimate did get stopped, that shield helped dissuade Corki from fully committing to that all-in on Stone Made Soft, and he was unable to get anything with that first package. And I know we were talking a little bit during the spectator delay amongst ourselves. I mentioned that this game might be decided on how impactful these quirky packages are as the game goes on, and if he continues to have packages that don't pick up kills like that one or objectives, the game is going to slowly start to teeter towards Stubby Gun's favor, in my opinion.
Yeah, I can only agree here. I think definitely what we see like right now, Virgin is able to get that laning advantage right now. He's running out of mana pretty quickly, and he's also, not getting up those kills. And so that's definitely the most important part, especially when you want to pick up when you want to be getting ahead on a scaling champion. Sure, you'll take the free scaling you get, but the kills would be so much more sweeter. So definitely have that to consider as you see bot lane gonna have this wave pushed in. And so far map state's gonna look kind of as usual here around just under a 1,000 gold lead here for Stubby Gun.
Yeah. They do have that dragon though. But top lane
Yeah,
might
looks
get...
like Ominous did get the Rift Herald. Shen kind of going in early here. Taunt cancelled by the set. Sky Splitter coming down. Gonna hit the Shen, but teleport coming in from the Ziggs. Lawrence in trouble once again. Does get that W blast again. Looks like Lawrence is gonna be a dead boss in the dirt here. Stubby soft picks up the kill on him. And it looks like the top lane is it's a recurring nightmare for the side of Stunned here.
Yeah, Lawrence always, you know, I don't want to say getting baited into these fights, but he did have that quirky TP in that one time. He did have this gank set up by Ominous here the third time, excuse me. And the second time he died, he had to, you know, blow his flash and ultimate to try to stop the Shen ultimate. So he's kind of being baited into these awkward positions, which is not doing any favors for him. And as a result, Stubby Gun keeps, you know, yielding forward and forward with these small advantages, you know.
Yeah, definitely. And one thing to worry about is that the Shen is pretty ahead of now as well. Does have that kill and assist for the side of Stubby. So, you know, the Shen definitely gonna be a very unkillable presence here, but the late game scaling of stun is still an insurance option. So definitely really interested to see how that goes. But you see Gordon on here in the top side, potentially looking for a counter gank here based on how he's positioning.
Yeah. Could be looking for something here in the top lane. Like you mentioned, that Herald was picked up by Ominous here, so potential for a big play if they can get. Fighting the mid lane here.
Yeah, fighting mid lane here. Looks like Origin gonna be able to get solo killed by Stonemate's off, and the blue buff is gonna go straight to the Ziggs. Big mistake from Origin here, kind of positioning really greedily for that buff and getting killed as a punishment.
Yeah, and just when J4, Origin here on the J4, not Origin, sorry.
No.
Oh.
Double flash traded in from the side of Lawrence and Ominous, but nothing from the side of Stubby. You know, this early game for Sun Gaming definitely looking more and more shaky now, and definitely something huge to worry about. Stonemate's soft looks like he might be able to pick up the mid tower with his W as well. TP coming in from Origin, maybe gonna try to stop that. He does have the package. Unstoppable goes down onto Corki. Stonemate's soft forced to flash out, but the Shen taunt misses. Shutdown goes towards the Corki Origin 96. Stubby chasing away, but Ominous is here. Rift Herald summoned up in the top lane as well. Now that Shen was used to use Stand United, looking kind of low as well. But Fire Streaks is here to help as well. Does have that hook available. Does he want to fight it? Yes. Takes the fight. Nautilus going and has the death charge onto the Corki taunt and goes onto Ominous. Gordon going as well. Unstoppable going down onto Origin. Origin trapped in the cage with the Jarvan, but trying to get out as much as damage as possible. Nautilus hook coming down and picks up another kill. 2 for 1 for the side of Stun Gaming. So
yeah,
definitely a bit of a worry, but side lanes do get a lot of gold influx as well from Rift Herald and Tower Plates.
Yeah, and that's just a result of the Nautilus roaming and the Karma not, right? If Karma's there, I think Stun Gaming actually just walks away from that fight. But because she was not there and Nautilus was there to set up that hook and ultimate set up the 2-man taunt for Stubby, they were able to get some return kills there, especially after Stun Gaming had to invest a lot just to get that shutdown from Stonemate's off here in the mid lane. Arrow's gonna be used here actually.
Yeah, Toph looking in trouble here. Micah Silica, no, he doesn't manage to get killed, but definitely a bit greedy, window shopping in front of the Ash's face and managing to get a few autos down on his head. But it looks like he's gonna greed again. So low on health. Immortal shield bow proc onto the Ash. Volibear is here. Chop Trioxide into the wall of the Ominous here.
Yeah. Ominous is gonna be able to pick up that kill. Dragon is spawning here, and it's gonna be difficult for the side of Stubby Gun to really... Actually, they'll be able to, you know, zone them off here with the Ziggs now that I think about it. The Ziggs already has this Leandries, so he's going to be doing a lot of damage, and we see the Jinx getting half health by stepping on that minefield.
Half health. This is walking up way too far. Both top laners do a TP, but it looks like they're just going to do some trading by themselves. W goes down. Unstoppable goes down onto the set. Lawrence is committing to this fight, but he was You're 0-3, my friend. You're not looking like you're gonna win this. Lawrence is once again in trouble. Flash coming in from Stubby on a killing spree now. Nautilus forced to hook out of the way as well. Looks like, you know, the top side is just becoming a recurring nightmare as well. Definitely looking really difficult for the side of Sun Gaming, especially when you want to hold on to that TP advantage. Stubby Gun looks poised to go for the Dragon here, especially as Lampshades is basically at, you know, 1 HP.
Yeah. Stubby Gun is definitely in control of this game right now. They're fighting in their lanes properly. I don't want to say properly. I don't know if that's the right terminology. They're winning the solo lanes. Bot lane has kind of been negligible for both teams. Nobody's had a serious impact. But in the solo lanes, whether it's the Ziggs getting that solo kill or Shen being able to survive the immense pressure and coming out 3-0-2 is an indication of how Stubby Gun has this lead. So I do like how they're using this lead to push the advantage, grabbing this mid tower, rotating down to the dragon, and making sure Shen is not allowing Set to join these team fights. Because if Set is not there, the rest of the team kind of just melts to Ziggs damage.
Yeah, absolutely. As we see, you know, item breakpoints as well. But one good thing to note is Jinx is farming pretty well. 124 at this stage of the game, definitely on the positive side. Not to mention that, personally, I'm a bit worried that Jarvan falls off. So if I'm the side of Sun Gaming, which technically I am, but you know, I like the scaling that we have. I like the scaling options that the Corki and Jinx provides. And I think that there's like a good amount of like frontline and backline peel as well as the Origin versus W away from the Shen, kind of getting scared off there.
Yeah. This Shen is really beefy. You don't want to walk up to him. Already has that frozen Iceborne Fist. I actually keep forgetting what it's called. Well, it used to be Iceborne Gauntlet.
Frostfire Gauntlet.
Frostfire. Has that Frostfire completed. Full armor here. I know Corki does some magic damage, but he's not going to be doing enough to get through this HP bar at the moment. He does have the Sundra completed, so already has that first item towards that 3-item fully scaled Corki we like to see. So if he's able to buy some time, he should become a threat, but right now I think the game is Stubby Guns to lose. They are in position to kind of take control of the map. They just need to make sure they're rotating and playing the macro to a T.
Yeah, they are going to be on soul point if they do manage to pick up the next Infernal Dragon. Definitely, since it's Infernal Soul, it's huge as well. You know, Shen, Jarvan, Nautilus, these aren't champs that you typically associate with damage. And so by maximizing the output there, the value is really good here, especially on such a fed Shen. But, you know, worry I do have is that once you kind of reach that later game stage, you know, the Jarvan's kind of just going to be like a fly. Like, he's not going to do too much damage unless he decides to go lethality magically. And so there's always the option, there's always that super late scaling where Jarvan just isn't as impactful as a champion anymore. But, you know, right now in this early game, there is a significant lead, so maybe Stubby Gun looking to hopefully snowball that advantage that they had. Omnis here flashes in straight onto the Ziggs. Shen'Al goes down as well, Jinx Rocket goes down as well, Origin in the backline trying to do some hitting away. Omnis gets one shot by Snowmade's top, but Jarvan Cage coming down. It's a free hitting environment for Lampshades as well, though. Look at the Jinx, does get the reset off onto Fire Streaks. Lawrence once again getting caught out. It looks like, oh, Warden looks like he could be in trouble here. Stonemace off flashing forward, does get the huge bomb damage onto the carries. Origin does get the W, Zonya's as well, but it looks like it's going to be a near 4 for 2 for the side of Sun Gaming, but Ziggs does get killed as well. So, you know, overall, once again, positive for the side of Stubby Gun, really winning out in these early game skirmishes.
Yeah, Stubby Gun coming out on top there. Really explosive play coming out from Stonemaid there, flashing forward with the W and Minefield with the Satchel on the Minefield there on the Ziggs to pick up 2 more kills there. But we do see potential catch out onto Stubby here.
Yeah, Lawrence flashing straight over the wall for the kill here. Are they even going to get up the kill? No, they won't. Another tragedy for the side of Lawrence. Today it's just been a series of unfortunate events for the set here. So unlucky not being able to get up the kill time and time again onto Stubby.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what Stun needs to do here. I mean, they saw that pick onto Stonemaid, but the problem is the Shen ult is available always, right? Just kind of hard for them to get these picks.
Yeah, every time they think they have a lethal option, you know, the Shen ult comes down and immediately all as well. But I think if I'm the side of Stun Gaming here, I think that there's still plenty of time to go. You know, Jinx does have that Kraken Slayer and Zeal up, so I'm even with Ashe. And once again, like I'll take a even Jinx over. I'll take if both even, I'd take Jinx over Ashe in most scenarios because of the damage and late game potential.
Yeah.
So play for scaling and give up the dragon and fight for soul instead, because you know, based on the item spikes and breakpoints here, it doesn't really look like it's a winnable fight for Stunned as much as it is for Stubby.
Giving this dragon is fine, but giving this dragon and kills
Whoa.
is not fine. But
Huge
that's
damage!
oh my
Double kill
god,
going towards Stunned's paw!
that was explosive damage coming out from the Ziggs, and that's that 2-item Ziggs here at 20 minutes, able to kind of just one-shot 3 people by himself. Yeah, I think that's fair to say, right?
Yeah, I mean, Stonemaid Soft literally, Stonemaid Soft, you know, he's not here throwing pebbles, he's throwing meteorites at Stun Gaming right now. Huge damage output. A Stubby gonna turn straight towards the Baron, actually.
21-minute
It looks like they won't even get it as well.
Yeah, this is 21-minute Baron being started up by Stubby Gun. And if Stonemaid Soft is doing that damage right now without Infernal Soul, once and if Stubby Gun do get Infernal Soul, this game becomes really out of reach for Stun Gun.
Yeah, not to mention, you know, there's this item in League of Legends, and I believe called Rabnon's Death Cap. That's gonna be looking hella dangerous as well. And so, you know, definitely the Ziggs is only gonna get more and more threatening at this point of the game. Once again, you know, Shen's still incredibly strong. Is gonna look to build towards that Titanic Hydra. Corki, Jinx still not at their scaling breakpoints yet. Don't even have their second item. So a lot of having the turtle behind for Stun Gaming here. It's just up to if they can withstand the pressure right now.
Yeah. The problem is the side of Stubby Gun can just force the agenda here. Ash Arrow, J4 Flag Drag, Cataclysm, Ultimate and Hook coming out from Nautilus. Zig Satchel to break these towers, and that's what they're doing. They're just pushing mid here, forcing the agenda, grabbing more local gold for themselves here. And they're drop
Rift
the
Herald
Herald
even
bot.
used as well. Really good just overall playing of the map here from the side of Stubby. I'm getting to pick up this side lane tower for free as well. Another plus 300. So such a heavy influx of gold for the side of Stubby Gun here. The gold lead nearing almost 8,000 now. So definitely a lot of, you know, definitely huge for the side of Stubby Gun. Definitely their game to throw here.
Yeah. We do see the Herald get a second charge here in the bot lane. I don't know how Stun can come back into this, I'm going to be honest. After seeing what the Ziggs just did there at that last dragon, this game is very scary.
Yeah, it's like kind of, you know, you don't want to be walking on landmines here if you're the side of Stun Gaming. Definitely have to play really far back and really just kind of reserved. But, you know, I do believe in Jinx game. I think that's still one of the late game fantasies that you can hold on to. Lamplate's definitely getting a lot of these resources on the map as well, still farming pretty well. But it looks like Stubby is still slightly scared to walk up for this inhibitor. You know, if the Ziggs isn't able to land off his poke, he's not really going to have the angle to do anything. Ominous does have flash here, so would look for engagement while Shen is still on the top side. Does have that ult. Ziggs ult coming down as well. Flash burst out, but Ominous flashing it onto him. But look at that shield. Stand beside me. Origin gets the Death Charge talked onto a set with the ultimate going down. Lawrence, does he have the W? No. Stubby Soft is on a rampage now. So is Stubby on a rampage. Looks like they can get an inhibitor. And it looks like they can push for game here, Ivar.
Yeah, they're going to be able to push in and end this, especially with Ziggs up. Ziggs has that satchel to burn down these towers. They just need to wait for this
wave. Yeah, they have
plenty
of minions as well.
Second tower goes down.
It looks like off of the explosive performance from Stonemaid Soft, Stubby Gun are eventually gonna, shutdown goes onto towards Ominous here, but still too many people hitting the Nexus. It looks like game one is gonna go to Stubby Gun.
Yeah, Stubby Gun taking that game off the back of the immense pressure coming off from Ziggs from the mid lane and the good counter ganks. I don't even want to say counter ganks. I just want to say the solo lanes played really well in their roles here to make that game, make that composition from Stubby Gun cohesive, right? If their laners were behind, they would not be able to do what they just did. But because they had their individual performances and plays, they're able to come together as that five-man unit there, and be able to pick up the victory there in game one.
Yeah, absolutely. And I will say, as much as, you know, we don't like to, kind of be pointing fingers and stuff. Lawrence definitely, that was a game to forget. There are quite a lot of mistakes in the early game, and I think for him, just calm down, kind of organize his mental, and figure out that you don't have to be going all in these early game, in these super early game scenarios. Set is definitely a champ that has that value late game. So that's maybe one thing for me.
Yeah.
And so, the inner Stun Gaming fan inside of me is kind of crying like, "Come on, guys!" But obviously, no bias here, and so I'm just ready to see what both teams have to improve and change for game two.
Yeah. With that being said, we are going to cut it to a quick break while we wait out for this second lobby to be made. So just bear with us, folks, and we'll be into game 2 draft here shortly.
Right, and welcome back to week 3 of Aegis Guardians League. Once again, I'm Jason5. This is Ivar with me, and this is Stubby Gun versus Stun Gaming Noxus.
Yeah, we're going to be going into game 2 draft here shortly. Thoughts from game 1, what needs to be adjusted? I think if Stun Gaming are taking blue side, they have side selection. So if Stun Gaming are taking blue side, either you B1. Oh, I'm just getting word from producers. They are opting for red side. So if you are taking red side, please ban the Ziggs. Do not give Stone Mates off the Ziggs. He looks so good on it. I don't know if you're on the same page as me here, Jason, but he looked really good on mechanically on the champion, right? He was hitting his skill shots, setting up his team to win these team fights. So don't leave it up.
The huge double kill as well.
Yeah, that huge double kill. So we'll see what they decide to do in terms of adaptation. I'm not too sure what else you might think they need to do to adjust here in game 2.
Man, honestly, it's looking scary. I think one thing is definitely not flip-flop around in early game laning. Like, they're taking a lot of these coin flip trains, and you saw it both from Origin and also from Lawrence, and even in bot lane where Toph was getting caught out by some of those hooks. Like, definitely, don't flail around in your lanes as well, and just play for scaling. If they're drafting a composition that that's playing for scaling, why are they fighting in the early game? They kind of need to ask themselves that. I'm sure that their coach will be bringing that up to them as well. So that's definitely one huge thing that they need to be paying attention to.
Yeah, I think, like you said, being decisive in what they want to do and making sure it's the right call is going to be very important here in this next game. But if they continue to give over these small advantages like they did in game 1, Stubby Gun will continue to run away with them and stack those minuscule advantages to create a bigger advantage and explode the game open like they did here. From Stubby Gun, I think they really excelled at their macro in terms of is that safe to say, Jason? The macro
definitely.
in terms of opening up that map once they had that 2 to 3k gold lead was really, really impressive. I know they had the Ziggs, they had the Shen ultimate to their disposal, but if they continue to draft some globals and some of these winning lanes which they had in this game, they should be poised for success.
Yeah. Now I will say that I don't know if you noticed the same thing, but the bot lane actually felt relatively more quiet this game. Not much action panning out from the Ashe Nautilus bot lane there, which is fine, especially when you have such a strong carry and so it's off in the mid lane. But definitely one thing to point out is definitely just I really liked how they played that early game, and definitely once they picked up the lead, they never looked back at all with it. There was no room for throwing or any sort of mistakes there. So really good from Stubby. I think the one thing that they could look to just maybe improve on is just being able to secure that vision faster and be able to get those advantages even faster if they're playing that way in the early game.
Yeah, that's a good point. Both bot lanes kind of just existed. I mean, the Nautilus had that one roam up into the mid lane that helped give that 2 kills over to Stubby Gun, but in terms of the 2v2, they just were there, right? Nothing too crazy was happening. A couple of hooks landed, Mantra E's were used to disengage. That was it, right? They would just rotate over for Dragon, go back to farming bot. So I want to see these ADCs trying to get into the game a little bit more and make their impact known. I don't even think we saw any impactful arrows or Jinx ultimates in this game. Jinx tried to go for a steal at one point, but besides that, nothing too crazy had come out from the ADCs. So let's see if they change anything up here. We are into game 2 draft here. As you guys can see, the Irelia is taken away.
Yeah, and so Aurelia is an interesting ban here because I'm actually not even sure who on stun does play Aurelia, but Aurelia is still a very strong champion, so worth the ban purely because of the strength and the patch that it has. But once again, yeah, Ziggs immediately off the table for the stun gaming. They do not want those explosion flashbacks in their mind again. Diana ban coming out again for Stubby, so still keeping it standard for the side of Stubby again here. I don't think Stubby found any of their picks really that threatening. Yeah, all 3 bans, same as last game for the side of Stubby.
Yeah, but we see the Ziggs taken away, which I really, really am happy to see. Great adaptation coming out from Stun Gaming. But let's see what this B1 is going to be for Stubby. I wouldn't be surprised if this is another Shen pick. The Shen had such big impact here, and Stubby looked really comfortable on it. But instead, they're going to take the Jinx away.
So Jinx obviously one of the most played champions for the side of Stubby's ADC, but Shen definitely open for the side of Dun here, and Lawrence is very proficient at the Shen, so definitely a window there where he's gonna be able to he could pick it up here if he wanted to.
Yeah. Kai'Sa's going to be locked in as a response to the Jinx. I don't know. Vi
as well for Omnis. Yeah. These are definitely non-standard picks. Kai'Sa definitely fallen out of the meta here, especially with the nerfs to things like Hail of Blades and also Q. So less output there, but Vi, once you say like you said, Omnis is pocket pick here, so definitely looking to showcase his proficiency on the champ here. The Olaf and Jinx locking for Stubby, definitely really good champs to deal with the Vi, especially once that Winter's Bite passive just stacks onto the enemy champions.
Yeah, and it's really good into, like you said, the Vi. Anybody who's kind of coming into you, they get punished heavily by the Braum. So I do like the Braum pick. The Olaf, kind of negating the Vi's presence and team fights will be nice for the side of Stubby Gun here, but Leona pick huge for the Kai'Sa, works really, really well in terms of enabling her passive. I really like that. So I'm interested to see if this bot lane is going to be more explosive than it was in game 1. It should. On paper, it should be explosive with the Leona Braum pickups coming out from the supports.
Yeah, definitely a Shen ban coming through for the side of Stun Gaming when they could have had the option to pick it themselves, but no, they decide that they're gonna hover towards another action. It's a Gnar ban coming out again for Stubby, and so second phase of bans still looking pretty standard here. But I really am interested to see how the top and mid side of the map plays out here. I wonder who, once again, I wonder what counter pick who will be getting that counter pick for the side of Stun Gaming here. It's definitely red side counter pick priority, such an important factor in a lot of these drafts now.
Yeah. Like you mentioned, Shen taken away, Gnar also taken away like it was in game 1. Tahm Kench and Kayle taken away as well. Similar bans from game 1 here. And then Malphite hover and then Malphite lock.
Yeah. Really good pickup here, but also, Malphite's one of those low confidence champs. Like, you don't get to do as much in the early game, and you're definitely really relying on, being able to get that armor. As a Sylas pick, great pick here. So many good ultimates for the side of Sylas, and presumably for Stonemate Soft to steal here. I really like this pick if they do decide to lock it in here. Really good choice for the side of Stubby.
I actually think this is going to go top lane. I'm going to use my prophecy here and say this is a top lane Sylas into the Malphite. But like you said, it has that Solar Flare, has that Unstoppable Force, has that Assault and Battery. 3 huge ultimates for him to steal here from the side of Stun Gaming. So this is a super, super strong pick coming out from Stubby Gun.
Yeah, I mean, yes, you're going to take the last couple seconds here just to see what Stubby are going to lock in. I guess your prediction is right. They are going to take Sylas in top lane and Corki in the mid lane here.
Yeah.
So definitely, draft direction. But Orianna being locked in Stun Gaming here, kind of very, I would say, throwback draft pick to like a couple patches ago for the side of Stun Gaming.
Yeah. Stun Gaming has really heavily drafted this dive wombo combo type team fight. The side of Stubby Gun has kind of, drafted a kind of a front to back style. They have these 2 bruisers in the front, the Olaf and Braum. They have the ADCs behind them with the Silas who can, engage. So I think both team fights are viable and team compositions are viable. It really comes down to execution. And as we saw in game one, Stubby Gun was able to execute better in the early game and early laning, which is why they were able to pick up the victory. So if it continues to go like that in game two, this game should be favored towards Stubby Gun, especially with the quirky, right? We saw uh what Stone Made Soft was able to do with the Ziggs. Now that he's on another scaling champion on this quirky, I'm really excited to see what he can do with it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, just, you know, like after seeing the Malphite immediately drafting two magic damage champions. So, you know, maybe a bit of a draft misstep here from Stunned as well. Like, kind of, you know, blind picking, blind picking this Malphite here in this top lane matchup. And so definitely, definitely a bit to worry about from the side of Stunned. But it does look like, oh, as you see the names on our loading screen are switched around, but that's all right. We know who's on whose side. But yeah, definitely, I like the drafts, but I do think that based off of how it goes, Stubby does have that advantage purely because they were able to get those counter picks and make the Malphite not as impactful as usual.
Yeah, I think a lot of this early game is going to be on Ominous here, on this Vi, to be able to um, make plays. And if he's able to get the ball rolling for his team, it's going to be very good for Stun Gaming. If he doesn't get anything going like he did last game, um, it's going to be really hard for him to have an impact because he is going to be going into a Braum with a Jinx and quirky auto attacking, so he's going to just get completely CC'd and blown up instantly. So it's going to be a lot harder for him to play these team fights. So they need to really snowball this early game.
Yeah, definitely. And when you have champs like the Orianna who, as a traditional control mage, like still want items, it's kind of there's a slight mismatch here. You have a lot of these champs like Malphite, Kai'Sa, Orianna that want to wait for a few items where they become like more impactful. But then you have like Vi, who's this early game jungler that wants to be doing things, and so there's a bit of a mismatch there. So it'll be really interesting to see how it plays out. I think one definite thing that Stun Noxus should do is that they should be moving their support more. Kai'Sa should be at some points, farming by herself, and Leona, especially with how strong, of a champion she is in being like, aggressive and engaging, should look to get those roams off and actually be able to impact the map more than just stay in lane.
Yeah, I think the roams from the supports can be very key on how this mid lane matchup can teeter back and forth. Um, for the most part, this mid lane should be a farm matchup for the Orianna and Quirky. I don't expect any kills, barring outside intervention. But anything can happen. And post 6, this top lane matchup will be favored towards Stubby once he's able to, have that sustain from the Kingslayer and be able to use his ultimate to steal the Malphite ultimate away from Lawrence.
Yeah, I will say though, Silas it's definitely more of like a lane. In the top lane, I feel it's more of like a lane where Silas is kind of going up against this punching bag that the Malphite is, and so it's really going to be just on how to execute it, because Silas, even in the early game, can be quite potent if played properly. And so I'll definitely be looking forward to that. But right now, we'll be looking at a quick break before the game starts. All right, and welcome back to Aegis Guardians League Week 3. This is Stubby Young versus Stun Gaming Noxus, as we're loaded onto the Rift for Game 2.
Yeah, and looks like we're seeing another stack coming out from Stubby Gun. It just looks like a 4-man stack actually this side. This time we see the Quirky going mid here, kind of dissuading the side of Stun Gaming to think that there is no invade happening, but they
Yeah,
might catch that
Lawrence,
Lawrence here.
is he going to be caught sleeping? Yes, he is. Does get tagged up by the ear. Braum passive as well, forced to flash away.
Yep,
Definitely, yeah, just Lawrence get caught sleeping here. Definitely not what we want to be seeing.
Sky Abduct used. They were one out away from getting that Braum passive to stack there, stunning Lawrence on the other side of the wall, but the flash down is going to be really bad for Lawrence. If he has trouble like he did in game one, uh, it's going to be really, really bad because now a flashless Malphite can be abused pretty convincingly by Silas.
Yeah, exactly. You know, this is setting up Stubby for a lot of success here in the top lane, especially since Malphite's such a weak pick early on. So I'm really worried for the side of Sun Gaming and how they're going to be able to play out the composition without making a lot of early game mistakes in lane.
You also have to start thinking about this mental warfare, right? Getting that flash blown early can, kind of put a person on the edge. Now, if they're able to, punish this flash and get a kill or something, some people tilt right off that, and the game starts becoming harder to play for them. So that's something to watch out for as this game proceeds. But I'm expecting this bot lane to have much more fighting than it did in game one.
Yeah, absolutely. As you see, Orianna does get that, little face rush proc, cute face rush proc here. Looking good here for the side of Sun Gaming laning. So far, nothing too crazy happening. We're only a few minutes into the game. And so, what do you want to kind of like see from the teams that now that their drafts are taking shape and everything's starting to set in shape?
Ooh, maybe something going in the mid lane here. Olaf might be looking for a gank, but I was gonna say how I like Olaf was pathing towards bottom here, but instead he's gonna run into Ominous here. Flash gonna be burned. Um, yeah, I liked how he was pathing down, recognizing that bot lane is the lane that has the CC that can help set up these ganks for the Olaf. And then I also like how Ominous is pathing up to make sure his Malphite is safe, especially now that the flash has been expended.
Yeah, and so definitely looking really dangerous here, as you see, just a lot of early game aggression from the side of Origin, but not being able to have it converted into as much as that rush out. But Gordon on the top lane here, Lawrence in trouble in, he has no flash, gets tagged up by the E undertow. This is not the first one, but second cube going down, Lawrence looking like it's gonna be another death for the Malphite. First blood goes towards Gordon.
Yeah, and that's that mental edge I was talking about, but flash engage in the bot lane. TP coming out from the Silas here.
Coming out on the side here, top looks like he might be in trouble here. Stubby does get that stun tagged onto him. Stubby picks up the kill onto top as well. And it's looking like early game explosion for the side of Stubby Gun here.
Just like that, even without the Shen, Stubby's able to have an impact in the bot lane here, bailing out his lane once again with this TP, and able to pick up that kill for himself, putting himself at 101. And they don't even lose anything because Olaf is on the top side of the map absorbing this, and his bot camps are up, but his laners are picking up those bot camps. So by the time Olaf gets there, they will be resetted, and this is beautiful macro coming out from the side of Stubby Gun.
Yeah, really well played from Stubby Gun. Really turning it around after their winless start as well as the side. Yeah, oh, Stubby misses the E over the wall, so not gonna be able to not even able to go for another gank onto the Malphite here, but still pathing up here. Lawrence once again no flash in such a far forward position. Maybe he can pick up the kill onto Gordon here, but it's looking kind of close. Does pick up the kill onto Gordon and manages to turn it into a 1-for-1. Can Lawrence get away here? Does have that Q to run away a bit faster. Absconded up, not ready just yet. Bit of movement for the side of Lawrence. Gets the E tagged on. Lawrence is going to be able to trade it. Flash forward from Stubby. Picks up the kill onto Lawrence with that Q explosion. Ominous down the ball lane here. Looks like the gank didn't get to much fruition, but Dragon is up soon and does look like Stun Gaming are pathing up. A bit more life coming in from Stun in the early game here.
Yeah, quite an aggressive game coming out from Stubby Gun there to go for that, playing the top lane. Going 1-for-1. I think the key thing here is that Stubby is on this champion that has snowball potential, right? The Silas. And he's already 2-0. Oh, we see a fight here.
Yeah,
Actually.
fight breaking out here. Flash forced out from Fire Streaks. Flash follow from Lampshades as well. Does have the heal if he wants that move. He uses the E forward. Gets tagged up by the Braum Q though. Looks like they're going to be able to get away. Ominous very in trouble here, but Gordon is on the flank. He's going to come in, but he has 3 people collapsing on him. Lampshades does get off the auto. Ominous in trouble as well. Stonemace off, gets a kill, but Gordon looking like in trouble here. Gets a smite off and the heal from the red buff. Lampshades gets tagged up by the Silas W as well. Leona does get the kill onto the Olaf. Double kill towards the Corki. Triple kill going towards the Corki. It's a 1-for-3 for the side of Stubby Gun. And it's looking like the same Woe Stun Gaming have again.
Yeah, and I hate to say it here, but this game is going to snowball really hard. Both these solo laners, like I mentioned in game 1, significantly ahead of their oppositions here now in game 2. And it's their game to lose now. I know it's 6 minutes in, but I'm trying to think of. I don't see Stubby Gun messing up, right? They've engaged in the mid lane here.
Yeah, engaging mid lane here. Sorry, Leona managing to get onto Stone Sophie does have the stun ready. Is there enough damage? One more auto shut down goes towards the Orianna Origin. Is going to pick up the huge bounty here. Shockwave going down onto Gordon. Ominous is here as well with the counter gang rooted onto Gordon. Does pick up the kill onto Stun Toph, but Ominous does pick up the return kill here. A lot better from Stun Gaming here, being proactive. Toph making roams as well and be able to impacting the map like we said he should.
Master Curse there. It looks like Stubby Gun did have a little bit of a hiccup there and some shutdown gold given back over to Stun Gaming. So Stun Gaming is still, being proactive, still has some life in them. They're not just, turning over and dying after the rough early game. It's nice to see. They do have this dragon advantage and potentially a gank brewing here in the bot lane. We do see Ominous and Toph here. Yeah,
and it looks like Jinx is caught out in no man's land here. Trioxide looking in trouble here. Vial, the Salt and Battery goes down. Ton goes down as well. Lampshades picks up the kill onto Trioxide. Definitely a lot better from Stun Gaming here. Mike, Ominous really be able to dictate the jungle pressure on this comfort pick of his.
Yeah, he's up about, I want to say 5 camps almost, 4 camps here. Definitely having a lot more pressure than he did in game 1, and these ganks working out.
Stubby going on to the Silas here. Stubby does not have the ult to steal. Shut down going towards Lawrence.
Yeah, and Lawrence will pick up that solo kill in the top lane, picking up the shutdown, and just like that, the gold is dead even, and Stun Gaming bringing it back here, silencing the naysayers here in chat, saying that this is a lopsided series, and they actually even have the advantage with this dragon in their favor.
Yeah, absolutely. We were talking about how, Stun definitely had a lot left to be desired based on how that super early game played out. But, give it a couple minutes and they're right back on track. So really good stuff from Stun, showing that they still have signs of life in them.
Yeah, the scaling is still there, however, for the side of Stubby Gun. So that's something that Stun needs to be careful of. They need to keep this snowball rolling. They need to continue to look for these proactive plays, pick up these kills, and convert these kills into objectives. That's what they need to make sure they're doing. They need to try to, potentially look for this Herald maybe to kind of force a dragon play for themselves. But the objectives are going to become key for them if they're able to pick them up off these advantages, but engage in the bottom.
Yeah, Toph gets to engage onto Trioxide, but Kaisa Killer Instinct going in as well. Jinx able to get the movement away. Ignite drop down to the Jinx, flash forced out as well. A sliver of hell is able to live. Toph gets picked off as well. Lampshade's also in trouble here. Stonebait Toph gets a kill. Really greedy from the side of Stun, engaging 2v2 just without knowing where the rest of the team was.
Yeah, goes in 2v2 not knowing where the jungle was, or the mid lane actually there. Looked like Stone Maid was coming off a recall, and barely living was the Jinx there. Able to get out with single digit HP, not dying to the ignite, and allowing Olaf to come in and pick up those kills.
Yeah, and it looks like Stun on the retaliation are able to pick up this Rift Herald, so definitely good at they want to be able to push the agenda and get some of their laners some extra gold that they need. But once again, either a lack of communication or just a lack of map awareness. Stun Gaming kind of, the moment we kind of praise them for doing something right, they kind of go ahead and fluff up again.
Yeah, I think. I'm trying to think of something here. The shield bow is completed, like these first mythics are coming out. Oh, package.
Package going down onto Origin, 2-man engage, unstoppable assault, Barry goes down, but Jinx will come down and no, misses, Q misses, unstoppable. Oh my god, that misses as well. Everything's whiffing for the side of Stun. Lawrence does able to pick up the kill onto Stonemate's off, but it looks like he's gonna be not long for this world. Stubby is slaying him as well.
More fighting in the bot lane here.
Does get the flash engage onto the Jinx. Jinx doesn't have the flash, but forced to heal as well. Toph able to live with Sliver Health. So is the side of the Jinx, but Stubby is here again. Toph trying to get a greedy recall off in the bush What are you doing? Lampshades trying to kite away, but Stubby picks up the kill onto the Lampshades. And once again, it's looking like it's falling apart for the side of Stun Gaming here. Miscoordination all over the map right now.
Yeah, and just when we think that the game is kind of even and Stun Gaming were able to bring it back, Stubby Gunned, have a explosive team fight and explosive pick, 2 to 3 members there, and getting this dragon, and the gold lead is now 3k here, and they're gonna go for more.
Yeah, flash engage going on to Origin. At this point, it's just bullying. All these kills being picked up for free here for the side of Stubby Gun. Definitely looking really dangerous on the side of Stun Gaming here, as they're kind of caught with their pants down.
Yeah, caught with their pants down indeed. They just keep getting picked out here from the side of Stubby Gund. They see laners overextended, and they're not afraid to punish it, not afraid to use their summoner spells to punish them, and it yields them another kill and some plates in the mid lane here. It's not even 14 minutes. We already have 22 kills here.
Yeah, it's a really bloody type of game here. Looking like the LPL right now. This Omnis trying to force a Rift Herald play in the bot lane, but minions are cleared off. Teleport coming down from the Corki. They want to try to deny as much of this gold onto the Kai'Sa as possible. And it looks like Sun Gaming are forced to back up as well. Really good ramp rotation from the side of Stubby Gun.
Yeah, rotations coming out. Denying that first tower, which is important, but the Herald was used pre 14 minutes, so good for the side of Stun Gaming to at least, get some of that plate gold over. Maybe a pick here onto Stone Made Soft. He's being zoned off. Salt and battery used.
Does get hit with the lone battery. Kai'Sa all coming in. Shockwave coming down as well. Shutdown goes towards the Kai'Sa. Really good pick here from the side of Stun. Managing to get a huge shutdown and, kind of ease up the map pressure that they've been receiving all game.
Yeah, and that's what their comp does, right? Full dive, one person gets picked off.
Here comes Toph as well. Picks up the root onto the Braum. Traps are able to lock them up here, but Toph looking really low as well. Continuing to force the agenda, not before Omnis is able to get there on time. It looks like another kill is going to be able to go to Gordon. Toph is going way too aggressive this Leona right now. He is 1-6.
Going for these plays, but not going for them at the right time, right? It's good that he's proactive, but he also needs to be careful that he's not, quote unquote, running it down, right? He's yielding kills for his team, but at the same time, he's going for these plays where his team can't follow up, and he's not recognizing the position of the enemies, right? Like we saw that 2v2 play they went for earlier, where they didn't know where the mid or the jungle of Stubby Gun was, and it resulted in them getting double killed. And we just saw this play in the bot lane where he went a little bit too forward, yielding a kill given over to the Jinx here.
Yeah, but all that investment from Stun does pay off. It looks like they could be able to get this bot tier 1 here, get the first blood tower onto the side of Lampshades. It looks like they will. So really good from the side of Stun, managing to apply constant pressure onto the map here in the bot lane. But Kraken Slayer and Immortal Shield were done for the Corki and Jinx respectively. So we don't see any mythics except for Sunfires. We see Engage going onto the mid lane, Shockwave going down, but Stone Made Soft picks up the kill onto Origin. Not really much communication from the laners as well from the side of Stun. Not be able to tag where the Silas is and be able to get the movement.
Yeah, you couldn't see it, but I was shaking my head. That's the third or fourth time that the Orianna has fallen for that, pushing himself too far up and getting punished by the rotation coming out from Silas. And at what point do you wonder if the communication is not on point from Sun Gaming? Because if Silas is missing from his lane, that should be communicated down to mid lane, right? And this is not the first time it's happened. This has been multiple times this game that she's been punished on the same thing. It's just a thought that that's in the back of my head,
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, as someone who's part of the organization of Sun, like it hurts to see the stuff like this. But definitely means that they have a lot of room to improve and kind of make adjustments. A minute until Dragon here, so it looks like everyone's going to be grouping up as we're going to see the first proper team fight of the game, possibly.
Proper team fight might break out. So far, we've just seen a lot of picks, and a lot of picks mainly in favor of Stubby Gun. But like you said, this Dragon spawning in 45 seconds, and I wonder if Stun just want to kind of give this over, because it doesn't look like they want to give this over. They're going to look for the engage.
Yeah, Battery's going straight down onto Trioxide, getting picked off instantly. A really good snap judgment from Ominous there. being able to pick up the kills, the emote just right from Lampshades here. You know, he's not giving up yet. He still has hope. And it looks like Stun Gaming are going to position for this dragon.
Yeah, this dragon is going to be probably conceded over. And as we see the side of Stubby Gun taking Herald on the other side of the map, probably going to look to open up the top lane here. But we see an engage here.
Also goes on to Corki. Stonebase off, flashes away from the Orianna Shockwave. Once again, really good from the side of Stun Gaming, forcing out some of these key flashes and stuff. Omnis is going to be able to solo that dragon. It's going to be an objective trade here from the side of Stun. They are going to pick up the Infernal Dragon. Hopefully, Dragon is still relatively healthy, but Gordon is nowhere near the map yet. Omnis does have that smite, so he's going to be able to pick up that Dragon very safely. Jinx Rocket is off by a couple seconds, but Stubby do have the angle to engage here. Leona goes down, tags Leona herself. Flash forced out. Brahmo coming down as well. Omnis and Top looking in trouble here. Flash Everfrost to cancel the channeling from Omnis. Looks like the Vi's going to get picked off here. Gordon's on a rampage once again. And it looks like Stun Gaming leaving just a bit too late.
Yeah, a little bit of a consolation prize being picked up here by Stubby Gun with that engage coming out from Stubby himself. The engage potential is there for Stubby Gun. They're going to try to blow this mid lane open, dropping the Herald here, bursting down this tier 2. Package is also available for Stonemate Soft. Maybe some dive potentials or shenanigans can come out.
Yeah, stunned overextend here. It's not going to look good. So definitely, you know, kind of dangerous here for the side of Stubby. For the side of Stun, sorry. But again, huge damage. Leona all completely whiffed. No shot there. Once again, just a lot of mishaps coming here for the side of Stun.
Yeah, able to pick up that second charge onto that inhibitor mid inhibitor tower, getting that down to 1/3 HP here. But Stun Gaming does pick up that second dragon, and they're 2 dragons away from that Infernal Soul, which is a serious win con for their composition. They're able to, you know, get that Infernal Soul. It will help them, you know, get through these HP bars that Stubby Gun has here, but you know, they need to survive for the next 10 minutes to get there.
Absolutely. So you look at the kind of KDAs all over the board. 4-1 on the Silas, 6-3 on the last, 7-3 on the Corki. Definitely really huge here. You know, Kaisa still only stuck on that one item, so looking relatively behind. In fact, most champions on the side are stunned, still stuck on that one item, not at that 1.5, 2 item breakpoint. And Toph doesn't even have his, you know, mythic complete, and he's going for the Sunfire on the support, which is very odd choice as well.
Sunfire on the support, yeah. I think the standard build, correct me if I'm wrong here, is Athena's Chain into Abyssal for Leona. I think that's the most optimal build, and it kind of makes sense with these snowballing solo lanes here that have the magic damage. But he's opting for the Sunfire, which is fine. I really, really would love to see that the Kaisa go LDR here second with those 2 long swords, but I have a feeling that it is going to be a Venom Dancer. Yeah. LDR would be huge here for the HP bars that Stubby had.
Yeah, Origin getting caught out here, forced a flash away from the Olaf. Definitely kind of an unfortunate proceeding there. As you see, honestly, I think a lot of Stun is just losing to Shopkeeper now as well, which is really unfortunate to see as well. But Toph does posture like he wants to do something here. Ult is available for Omnis as well, but it looks like they're just posturing for vision here, making sure that, you know, Stubby don't get the chance to rush Baron off of spawn.
Yeah, Stubby can't just force anything, you know. They have to make sure it's still the right fight for them, because if they force the wrong fight, they'll get punished by the CC and damage that Stun Gaming still has. But in the top lane, we see Stubby going for
Stubby trading onto Lawrence, but Malphite is really tanky here, kind of like a punching bag here. Once again, 4 people up in the top side, they are looking to force down this tower and make Lawrence back off, but Stun Gaming here on the return as well. This looks like a possible fight angle, especially with the tower. Malphite, all 3 man! Teleport coming in from Origin. Omnis is on the backline. Lampshades jumps in. Omnis gets the assault and battery, but counter Silas ult as well. Gets the ultimate down as well. 1-for-1 trade so far. Shockwave goes down onto Corki, but Lampshade is able to get picked off by Stonemaid Soft. Gordon looks like he's able to run forward and pick up the kill onto Toph as well. Double kill going towards the Olaf, and it looks like Stubby Gun is slapping Stun with their wallets right now with how far ahead they are. Good start from Stun, but too late in the game and 2 behind on gold.
Yeah, and Dream Engage coming out from Stun Gaming there. And just as that 3-man ultimate comes out from the Malphite and the damage is coming out from Stun Gaming, we see Stubby coming from the flank and land a 3-man unstoppable force of himself onto Stun Gaming. And Unfortunately, the shockwave only lands onto one member. If that shockwave was positioned a little bit better, it would have been, I'm pretty confident that was an instant triple kill on these 3 members that are low HP here, but it doesn't land, and the ADCs and bruisers here for Stubby Gun are able to DPS down the remaining members of Stun Gaming, and they do pick up this Baron here at 21 minutes.
Yeah, but 20 seconds until Dragon. Are Stubby Gun able to get the reset and vision off in time for this Dragon? I'm not so sure. Omnis is posturing already and getting the necessary vision that, you know, Stun do want for this sole point. But looks like Stubby Gun are rotating here as well. Stun Gaming don't have the Orianna TP, do have the Malphite in the mid lane, so it doesn't even look like they're able to properly fight for this Dragon as well. So, you know, once again, a lot of misplaying the map here as we see Vision instantly being rolled out by the Braum as well. Looks like they're just going to give it up and trade for the tower in the top lane.
Yeah, they're going to be trading across the map here. I think this is actually favored for Stubby Gun, right? Avoiding fights and getting more objectives for themselves is better because the side of Stun Gaming can force fights whenever they want, and if they're split, they're not going to get anything. And if they're splitting and trading these towers, when Stubby Gun has Baron, they're going to win this trade 9 times out of 10. And as we see that, Stun Gaming is forced to recall and come and try to defend their base, because if they try to go for these trades, it's not going to be in their favor due to the Baron pressure.
Yeah, no, you see, if you look at the Kai'Sa's item build, he's actually opting for the Wit's End here, which is, I think it's a really good item buy here, but the problem is just, you know, everyone on Stubby is so far ahead, and these Baron minions and Corki Rockets just pelting them. And so, you know, it's looking so difficult here because there's so much poke and so many things they have to dodge. They're just going to have to be forced out purely from Corki Rockets, Jinx Ws.
Yeah, and they're forced out here. The tower will go down.
The bot lane tower here is so much local gold going inside Stubby. Not to mention that Stubby himself has that stolen Malphite ult hijacked away and ready to kind of crash straight into stun. Toph does have the ult and is posturing a bit more forward. The same thing with Omnis, has that assault battery, but Toph might get caught out here, gets half health immediately, forced to back off as well. Still doesn't have the Sunfire completed. Honestly, with the build. Oh, Malphite ult goes down onto 1-man, but 3-man ult on the side as well. Origin does get the Orianna ult canceled. Lampshade does in the backline hit. Lawrence gets the shutdown on towards the champions, but it looks like it's too much for Stun Gaming. Stubby Gun pick up the double kill on towards Olaf. 4 for 1, and it looks like it's going to be a 2-0 sweep here, Ivar.
Yeah, Stubby Gun, you know, slapping Stun Gaming with their wallets, like we like to say here, and they're just so far ahead. They're going to be able to push the agenda here, take what's theirs. The Ace is coming out with this for the Jinx here with that last auto attack, and this tower is going to be focused down, and this series will be going over to Stubby Gun here, 2-0, and they will be able to pick up their first win of the series. Maybe I cast a cursed it here. Maybe they're walking away. I don't know why they're walking away.
Yeah, Ivar. I think they're just way too low and they didn't have the right minion wave, so unlucky there for the side of Stubby Gun. But definitely now that, you know, the entire base is blown up, it's really looking like, you know, Stubby just wait for the next dragon, win a team fight, and then they can just do whatever the hell they want.
Yeah, doing it the textbook way, right? Unless we see a TP into the base, it should be textbook. We saw some insane backdoors earlier this week in our Defenders League. You know, Evelyn walking it in, Viz dropping a ward for the TPs. But I don't think we'll have any of those shenanigans here. I think Stubby Gun will be able to, you know, walk in S5 together and force this last tower down.
Yeah, Landscape's Dusty just clearing the ward here, and so, you know, just everyone on Stun Gaming just kind of looking disjointed. Everyone's all over the map. 2 minutes until the Baron, 2 minutes until the Dragon. So still a bit of time to buy some, still a chance to buy some time for scaling, and you'll get those crucial items in here. But again, if we just look at the look across the board on the items, there's so many gaps just between all the champions here, between Stubby and Stun.
Yeah, it's a huge goal differential here. 10k at 25 minutes. It looks like they opted to go towards the top side of the map. Pretty textbook stuff. You have Baron being taken, bot and hip down, Baron, super minions coming in there. You go to the opposite side of the map, but engage.
Coming down onto the Corki, able to one-shot Stomach's off. Lampshade does get the kill. Much better from the side stun, being able to force a pick, but no Malphite ult for the general team fight means it's going to be much more difficult for them to start any fights. Omnis does get chopped down by the Olaf. Unstoppable going down. Jinx Rocket coming down as well. It looks like it's a horrible DPS environment for the side of Stun. They don't really get an angle to do anything. Jinx is here as well. Double kill going on towards the Olaf. Solo kill from the Sylas onto the Ori as well. And it looks like that's going to be game here. A 4-for-1 once again.
Yeah, and Gordon got down so low there, just constantly DPSing, healing up from the Triumphs, the Derricks, the Glory Drinkers, everything popping there. His innate healing in his kit, able to keep himself alive, and he's already at full health. And they're zoning off Lampshades here, not letting him back. They're going to pick up the Nexus here. I'm not going to curse it this time. This is the game going over to Stubby Gun, and they're going to win the series 2-0 and grabbing their first victory here in Aegis Guardians League.
Yeah, and congratulations to Stubby again. But once again, you know, this is for the side of Stun Noxus, a lot of work for them to do. And as a avid Stun gaming fan myself, you know, my tears are starting to flow already. But overall clean 2 games from the side of Stubby Gun, really improving on the macro, and you know, this entire roster swap really, you know, kind of paying its dividends.
Yep. And with that being said, we are going to cut the stream here. We're going to send a raid over to Legends Esports. Thank you all for tuning in. That is all we have for you guys this week. We will be back Monday for our Aegis Vanguards League. Thank you so much for joining me, Jason. Thank you, Quanta behind the desk. And thank you everybody for tuning in. We will be back next week, and enjoy the rest of your weekend, folks.